Hello, Asa.
Hello. What's up?
Okay. So I'm starting with a classic question. Which movie of Tim Burton is your favorite?
Beetlejuice. It's the first film I watched of his, I think, and it was the first one. Well, one, it kind of scared me as a kid. I was quite young when I watched it, but I just loved how wacky it was. And Tim wasn't like afraid to just do what he wanted and make the film he wanted to make. And as I got older, I was like, I really respected that about him as a director. He didn't kind of adhere to the usual tropes of cinema.
Hello, Ella.
Hiya. Beetlejuice is a classic, but my all-time favourite would probably be Edward Scissorhands. I love that one.
Johnny Depp and all.
Yeah, he's good.
What advice did you learn from him?
Tim's a very collaborative director, and he was always very, he'd always talk to me and he would share his ideas. He never really sort of gave me advice in acting, because there's a lot of respect given between directors and actors, and you got to have that trust. So he trusts my instincts and I trust his instincts, and from that that's how we form this character in the story.
Because your Jacob is really like the Jacob in the book, but what did you put into him to make him yours?
Well, yeah, the book is invaluable, really, as a source material. Having all that information is great, and working with Tim, and for me, the important part of Jacob's story is he's got such an arc, and from the start, where he's this ordinary kid in Florida, and by the end of the film he's this hero almost. Even though he's kind of unconventional and he didn't really mean to be there, he still takes upon that role, and I think that's admirable. And for me, tuning into that transition and that decision, even though he's in somewhere where he feels out of place and he feels like he doesn't really know what to do, he still steps up to the mark, and that's important.
Do you know what? The whole experience just with working with Tim, I actually learned a lot. You know, he's such a creative guy, you know, and he's such an amazing guy. He's like this mad scientist that just gets all these lotions and potions and mixes it together in a cauldron and comes out with Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And it's mad watching him work. You know, he's got this amazing kinetic energy and he just paces and he moves and he uses his hands a lot, and you see the cogs turning, and once he gets it, you literally see the light bulb above his head, you know, and his eyes light up and you're like, okay, he's ready to shoot, let's go. And I guess working with him, I learned that creative people are a bit weird, you know, our brains are sort of wired differently, we're a bit scatterbrained, you know, there's a lot going on. And I think I learned that actually you don't have to pretend to be someone that you're not, you know, it's actually just okay to be you, and it works. It works for him, and I think hopefully, you know, it'll work for me. You know, you don't have to always try and keep it together. It's nice to be you.
Matthew Vaughn, Tim Burton, who's next on your list?
Oh, I don't know. Director-wise?
Yes.
Oh, God, so many. Wes Anderson, I'm a huge fan of his work. I love directors, you know, that are so stylized you can literally see who has directed the movie before the credits even roll in. Like Baz Luhrmann is another one I think is just visually absolutely stunning.
So Scorsese, Tim Burton, who's next on your list?
I don't know. Hitchcock. I'm joking. We'll see. I'm sort of lucky enough to be able to. I've been doing big budget movies, but I can also do a lot of independent films, which I enjoy just as much, really. I just came off a shoot, which is a really small budget. It was a 4-week shoot in Minnesota. I was playing this punk bass guitar player, and that was so much fun. I mean, it was hard work because we were working all day, pretty much every day. But it's a really rewarding feeling, that. So, yeah, I haven't really got someone I really want to work with. I just like to keep my options open.
Is it different, an American shooting and a British one?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, filming in America, firstly you got an American crew and all of that, and the American accent, which is a whole other thing. But thankfully for me, I've got that down, I think. And being surrounded by Americans helps because you're just in there. In this movie, I had an American accent as well, except I was surrounded by a British cast and crew, which made it quite difficult to kind of like tune them out and try and focus on my own voice. And but it worked. I did it.
How was your approach to your role? How was your reaction when you got the role?
I to be honest, when I found out I got it, my agent and my mum came to my house and like surprised me and like, congratulations. And I was so overwhelmed, I just burst into tears. And I couldn't stop crying. I had to like sit in the corner and compose myself. It was an absolute pinch me moment. It really was. I fell in love with the script from the first moment I read it. I think it had a lovely message. I love fantasy films. I'm such a fan of Tim Burton. And so then, the work began and I had to sort of prepare for my character. And I had a bit of a tougher job because the character in the movie has obviously got a different peculiarity from the film. So from the book, sorry. So I didn't read the books because I'm quite, well, I have now. I didn't then because I'm quite easily influenced by what I read and what I see and who I meet. So whereas everyone else had the book, the sort of Bible to base it all on, I, in a sense, sort of have to create a completely new character. So I just used the script. I just did all my research on the script and I did a lot of movement work to try and make her sort of heavy light and bleed that into her personality. And then once I felt like I had a stronger sense of who she was, then I read the books.
And you were disappointed?
No, I was not. I mean, I formed an attachment to Emma, in my head is Emma, and then when I read the books, of course the Emma Bloom with the fire is hugely relatable, and every girl wants to be that that badass with the fire. But in a way, I feel like this is actually it's more original in a sense, and I my heart lies with this Emma because obviously I'm so attached to that character.
You've been playing a lot of saddened or maybe reserved boys in your career, so maybe one day you'll be very happy and open, I don't know, in a comedy maybe?
I would love to. I guess up until now people maybe it's just my face, maybe I have a very kind of sad and depressed face. No, I don't know, but you're right, I've played an unusual amount of kind of either kids with troubled upbringings or orphans or just kind of troubled kids. I have a knack for it. I don't know why.
You grew up in front of the cameras, kind of. So how do you cope with that?
It's difficult to say because I've not really known anything else. So it's not like I've got much to compare it to. But I'm quite ambitious. I get bored quite easily. And school was never really for me. School is important. I got all my exams and I love to learn. That's the thing, I love to learn. But the actual school environment, I didn't really enjoy much. So I actually found I preferred to do that one-on-one tutoring that I got on set whilst growing up. So I liked it. I like being busy. And I was certainly busy. I kind of enjoyed it, to be honest with you.
I really liked Never Let Me Go, actually. And then when I recognized you, I was, oh, you were so young.
Yeah, 12. That was my first movie.
I'd say I did most of my growing up at home, really. Just to kind of back in reality, you know what I mean? Kind of out of this world. And every time I came back to the industry and I came back to doing a film, I'd grown up a little bit more, and I think that's what people were seeing. And I'm just at that age where I grow up pretty quick, I guess.
Do you watch yourself sometimes in your old movies?
I haven't. Not for a while. I mean, I don't like watching myself. I don't think many actors do. But I did, a couple of years ago, I rewatched The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, which was the first time I'd seen it in about 8 years. Or 7 years. So that was pretty weird.
I cried so much in watching this movie.
No, but maybe once 8 years has passed, then it's okay. Because usually it's a bit cringy to like watch your own stuff. Like, when you hear your voice on recorder and you're like, is that me? It's like that on film, but like times 100. So maybe if that much time had passed, then I'd be able to do it.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, it's a pleasure. Nice to meet you.